Okay, part 2 of the video that I just uploaded. I went back and looked at that, but no, my mind has already forgotten a lot of what I said, so I don't want to repeat myself. I don't have much time, but 10 minutes on these videos. But I do have lots of ideas that I hope are interesting. And like I said, I am open to any criticism or building upon my ideas. I don't claim to be right all the time. And I am very welcome to other ideas. That being said, let's see, what have I already talked about? Talking about the recovery modalities and things, so I was going to say, in rehab, there's a reason why only 1% of the people who you're in rehab with will make it. So like one person will actually make it. And there's a reason for that. I know there's obviously a reason for that. I have my ideas of some of those things. Now, like I said, this may not be for everyone because we are individuals to a certain extent, but we are also a lot alike when it comes to things like our addiction. If you ever went to rehab, you'll notice that, especially for the first time, and you listen to other people get up and talk about their experience, and you're just amazed at, my God, that could be me up there speaking. I feel exactly that same way. I do those exact same things, and up until that point, you really didn't realize how not alone you really were out there. You were really thinking, I'm the only one that feels these unique feelings, when no, we are not. So to an extent, we are an individual, but to an extent, we are all the same in a lot of ways too. So one thing that I found that I did not like was when I would go to NA and AA meetings, I had to get up every time and introduce myself as being an addict. And I did not agree with that, especially towards the end. In the beginning, it didn't really bother me. I didn't understand. But, if you look in the mirror every day and you say, hey, I'm ugly, eventually you're going to believe that. Now, I don't want to cement in my mind every day that I'm an addict. I already know I'm an addict. I thought that we're going to these meetings to learn new behaviors, not solidify the fact that I'm an addict in my head. It's almost like they want you to keep that idea. It's like I notice a lot of people, they overcome the drug addiction, but then they acquire a addiction for NA and AA. It's almost like my identity was a drug addict, but now my identity is a recovering drug addict. So I don't want my identity to be a recovering drug addict. I want eventually my idea to be something else. So I refused there at the end to get up and say that I was an addict. So I would stand up and I would say, hi, my name is Shannon, I'm an animal lover. Or, hi, my name is Shannon, I'm a college graduate. Because I'm so much more than being defined as an addict. Okay? I don't want to carry that for the rest of my life. That's one idea that I had there. Another thing that I did not like was, I don't like the medical model. Did I already bring this up? I might have. I know that started as a way to be able to do billing and coding, but they took it and ran with it to the point where an addict can now say, I can screw up and keep doing this because it's not my fault because I have a disease. A disease to a certain extent, I don't believe it's a disease like cancer, and that's what they want you to believe. That once you become a pickle, you can't go back to being a cucumber. I don't totally agree with that, maybe for some people, but not for everyone. I do believe that I noticed that in the recovery community, they absolutely refuse to teach moderation. They want to push abstinence. Abstinence is not working for most people. They say, oh, this moderation's not going to work. Well, abstinence isn't working either, so why not try to teach moderation? And once that being said, and done, then maybe abstinence can come after that. I don't want to be completely abstinent. To be honest, I do want to go back to being that recreational drug user that I used to be. Now, is it going to be possible? I don't know. I believe that maybe I could be. Some people can. I do believe that some people can. Others, maybe, they do one drug one day and boom, they're off and running for months. Now, is that because of chemical makeup in their brain, or is that because that's what they've been told is going to happen? Now, think about that. So moderation, I think that we should try to teach moderation. Did I talk about the Karate Kid movie? And I don't know. I didn't see it on the last video, but in rehab, they want to do this sappy, let's feel sorry for ourselves, blah blah blah. Watch Hope Floats and cry about our lives. And I remember, like I said, if I said this before, I apologize, but I remember going and seeing Karate Kid at the movie theater, and walking out of there, everybody was doing karate moves, and you just had this just adrenaline rush, and I think that's the feeling that we need to carry into rehab, if it means taking self-defense classes, boxing lessons, more like a boot camp environment, but not in your face screaming, but more empowerment rather than victimizing. That's another one of my ideas and beliefs. I wrote a few things down. Gosh, I'm already almost out of time. I don't like this. I want to make longer videos, but oh well. Let's see. What do we have here? Meetings aren't for everyone. There's 90 meetings in 90 days. Like I said, a lot of those people's are court ordered to be there, and they ruins it for people who are there on their own accord. So I'd say that meetings are not for everyone. They were not for me. Obviously, I'm not clean yet either, but the times that I did get clean in my life, meetings were not a big thing for me. I think that AA was made by an old white male alcoholic for old white male alcoholics, and the ideas are a little tired and old, and sure, they work for some people, but I think that it's working for less and less people. Hence the only 1% of people will make it. Okay. We do a lot of lying to ourselves. I noticed one time I was reading my 12-year-old diary that I wrote when I was 12, and I lied in my own diary to myself. No, what the hell? That means that we not only don't want other people to see that glimpse into who we really are, we don't even want to chance our own selves seeing into that. Does that make sense? So we got to get real honest with ourselves, as hard as that is. I guess they call that the third step or something, but I don't know. I say it's getting honest with yourself, and that can be really grueling, but it's something that needs to be done. You need to know yourself, understand how you work. I think I'm gonna end this here in a minute, and I will pick up one more video for the night. I want to get this out.